I used to think my biggest enemy in trading was the market. But over time, I realized the truth was much harder to accept. My biggest enemy was me. Every time I got close to consistency, I'd find a way to mess it up, not by accident, but by habit. I'd start a week strong, patient, focused, waiting for clean setups. Then a single bad trade would send me spiraling. I'd start forcing entries that weren't there, moving stops, doubling down. Deep down, I knew I was breaking my own rules, but part of me just couldn't stop. That's what self-sabotage feels like. It's not an impulsive mistake. It's a quiet pattern, one that hides behind logic, ego, and emotion. For me, it began with something subtle, the fear of missing out. Whenever I missed a good trade, I felt this burning frustration, like the market had moved without me. So next time, I'd jump in too early. I told myself I was being proactive, but really, I was chasing validation. I wasn't trading setups anymore. I was trading emotion. And the more I tried to control my results, the more I lost control of myself. There's a painful truth every trader eventually faces. Sometimes losing money isn't your worst problem. It's knowing what you're supposed to do, but still doing the opposite. That kind of failure hits different. I remember one night vividly. I'd taken a solid trade earlier in the session, clean setup, perfect structure. It hit my first take profit. I should have been done for the day. But greed whispered otherwise. I thought, one more trade won't hurt. You're in rhythm, so I jumped back in. No setup, no confirmation, just pure confidence and emotion. Within minutes, I watched the market reverse. Stop loss hit, profit gone. And just like that, all the control I thought I had vanished. I sat there staring at the screen, not because of the loss, but because I'd done it again. I'd promised myself this time would be different. But deep down, I was stuck in a loop. That night, I didn't sleep. I opened my trading journal and started reading through my old notes, months of entries, filled with the same phrases. Broke my rules again. Entered early. Revenge trade. It hit me like a punch to the gut. I wasn't inconsistent because I didn't know enough. I was inconsistent because I couldn't control myself. That realization hurt, but it also woke me up. I started asking myself questions I had avoided for years. Why do I keep doing this? Why do I repeat the same mistakes, even when I know the outcome? The answer wasn't about trading. It was about emotion. Every time I lost, I wasn't reacting to the market. I was reacting to how the loss made me feel. I didn't want to sit with discomfort, so I traded to escape it. I wanted to prove something to the market, to myself, maybe even to others watching me fail. That was the root of my self-sabotage, not lack of knowledge, but lack of self-acceptance. So I started working on myself the same way I worked on my charts: slow, deliberate, consistent. The first step was awareness. I forced myself to stop mid-trade whenever I felt emotion rise. Instead of acting on it, I'd ask, what am I feeling right now? Fear, frustration, ego. At first, it felt unnatural, like therapy during trading. But that awareness changed everything. The more I observed, the more I saw the pattern. Every self-sabotaging decision came from the same space, the need to avoid emotional pain. Once I understood that, I stopped trying to eliminate emotion and started learning how to manage it. Some days, I'd step away mid-session, just to reset. Other days, I'd journal instead of trading, writing out the urge I felt to get even or make it back. It felt slow, but it was progress, and slowly, the storm inside began to quiet. I started recognizing the difference between my mind and my emotions. My mind wanted structure, my emotions wanted comfort. Discipline became the bridge between the two. Over time, my relationship with trading began to shift. I stopped trying to win every trade and started focusing on not losing myself in the process. Each day became a small test. Could I stick to my plan, no matter how I felt? That's when things truly changed. The losses still came, the missed setups still hurt, but they no longer controlled me. I stopped sabotaging good trades with fear and bad ones with ego. I started trusting my rules, not because I was confident, but because I was consistent. And that's when discipline stopped feeling like a restriction. It started feeling like freedom. I realized self-sabotage doesn't end with a single breakthrough. It fades slowly as awareness grows. Each time you catch yourself before repeating the old pattern, the cycle weakens. Each time you stay patient when the urge to act is screaming, you reclaim control. The truth is, most traders aren't fighting the market. They're fighting their own patterns, and the only way to win that fight is through honesty. You have to be brutally honest with yourself, not just about your trades, but about why you take them. For me, self-sabotage wasn't about being reckless. It was about being afraid to trust, afraid to wait, afraid to lose. Once I faced that fear head-on, it started losing its power. Now, when I trade, I do it with calm intention. Not because I don't feel emotion, but because I know it doesn't control me anymore. Self-sabotage didn't disappear overnight. It faded, slowly, quietly, as I built habits stronger than my impulses. And that's what I want you to understand. Breaking the cycle isn't about perfection. It's about awareness, one trade at a time. You can't heal what you don't face. You can't grow if you keep lying to yourself. The moment you start owning your patterns, your habits, your triggers, your fears, you start breaking them. So, if you're caught in that same loop I was, remember this. You're not broken. You're just untrained in self-awareness. And awareness is something you can build. Every chart, every trade, every mistake, they're not proof that you're failing. They're proof that you're learning. So breathe, reflect, adjust. Because the trader you want to become isn't found in a new strategy or a lucky streak. It is built through the slow, quiet act of not sabotaging yourself anymore. That's how the cycle breaks, not with a win, but with awareness. And when you finally realize that, you stop chasing perfection and start mastering yourself.